guys, this is Hakim. Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to build a custom modal in React Native. So if I click on this button, it's going to bring up the modal with this animation, and also the modal has some elements, the success image, the success message, and this cancel icon. And once I click on this icon, it's going to close the modal with this animation. So this is what I'm going to put in this video. I'm making the project file available for you guys to download. So if you are new here, please consider subscribing, turn on post notifications so that find time I upload a new video. And without further ado, let's start coding. Okay guys, so I already created the project and also I've gotten rid of the boilerplate that React Native generate for us. So inside the project, I created a folder called asset. So this folder holds the success image and the cancel image. Then inside the app.js, we have an app component, and also I've created this style sheets. So we are going to start by adding the button for the modal. So we are going to make use of this button to toggle the modal. But before we do that, we are going to style the view. So give the view a flex of 1. So this is going to take the full height and the full width. Then we'll give it a justify content of center and align items of center. So it is going to center the items both vertically and horizontally. Inside the view, we are going to add the button component. So add a button component, and I'm going to give it a title of open modal. So say title, I will say open modal. So right now we have the button. So the next step, I'm going to create a component for the modal. So outside the app component, we're going to create a component called modal pop-up. So over here, we'll say const, and I'm going to call it modal pop-up. And the component is going to take some props. So it's going to take a visible props. So this prop is going to be used to show the modal. Then also it's going to take a chosen props. So this chosen props is the element inside the modal pop-up component. So right now we're going to add the modal pop-up component inside the app component. So over here we'll say modal pop-up. Then we're going to give it the visible props. So we'll say visible. I'll give it visible, which we are going to create right now. So over here, we're going to create a state called visible. So create the visible state, and create the method to set the visible value, which is going to be set visible, which is going to be use state react.use state, and by default, we want it to be false. So over here, inside the button component, we are going to add press props. So once we click on the button, we want to change this visible value to true, which is going to show the modal. So over here, we'll say set visible, then we'll set it to true. So right now, I'm going to go back to the modal pop-up component and start styling it. So inside the modal pop-up component, we are going to return a modal. So that is the modal from React Native. So return the modal, we import it. And for the modal, we are going to give it a transparent props. So want it to be transparent. And also we give it a visible props. So which is going to be show modal state. So we are going to create the state right now. So over here, we'll create the state. We'll say const show modal, set show modal. It's going to be react.use state. And by default, we are going to pass in the visible props. So by default, this visible props is false, which is going to hide the modal. But I want the modal to be visible in order to be able to see what you are working on. So over here, I'm just going to change this to true. Then once we are through customizing modal, we are going to change it back to this show modal state right here. So inside the modal component, we are going to add a view. So this view is going to serve as the background for the modal. So we are going to give it a style. And we'll give it a style of modal.background. So I'll say modal background. I'm going to copy this style and I'm going to start styling it. So right here, we'll add the style. And for the style, we are going to give it a flex of 1. So it's going to take the full width and the full height. Then we'll give it a background color. So we want it to be transparent. We'll give it an RGBA color. So we'll say RGBA. We'll give it a black color with an opacity of 0.5. Then over here, we are going to give it a justify content of center and align items of center. So this is going to center the item both vertically and horizontally. So we'll say align items and give it center. And that's all for this site. So right now, we're going to add a view for the modal content itself. So over here we'll add a view, and for the view we are going to give it a style of modal container. So say style. We'll add an array because we are going to add a multiple style. So we'll say styles.modal container. And over here we are going to add the style. So we'll say modal container. And for the style we give it a width of 80%. So we want it to take 80% of the screen width. We'll give it a background color of white. So we'll say background color. We'll give it white. Then we are going to give it a padding horizontal of 20 pixels. So we'll say padding horizontal. We'll give it 20 pixels, and also we'll give it a padding vertical of 30 pixels. So right now we have the view. So the next step, I'm going to add a border radius. So we'll give the border radius of 20 pixels. Then we'll give it an elevation of 20 pixels also. So that's all for the modal container. But right now the view is actually small because we've not added any element inside the container. So inside the view, we are going to add the choose when. So pass in the choose when props. And right now we're going to start adding the element to the modal pop-up. So inside the modal pop-up component, we'll add a view. We are going to give it a style. So for the style, we give it align items of center. So say align items. And that's all for this style. So right now we are going to add a view also. So this view is going to be the modal header. So we'll give it a style of modal header. So we'll say style.header. Then inside the view, we are going to add the image, that is the cancel image. So add an image component. Then we are going to give it a source. So we'll say source, which is going to be from the asset folder. And we are going to get the cancel icon, which is called x.png. So this is the icon right here. So the next step, I'm going to style the image. So we'll give it a style. We'll give it a height of 30 pixels and a width of 30 pixels. And that's all for the style. So the next step, I'm going to start adding style to the header style. So over here, we'll add the header style. So say header, and give it a width of 100%. We'll give it a height of 40 pixels. So say height. We'll give 40 pixels. Then we'll give align items of flex end. So this is going to push this icon to the right. Then we'll give it a justify content of center and hit save. So right now we have the icon at the right. So the next step, I'm going to add the success icon and the success message. So below the view that is holding the header of the modal, we are going to add an image component also. And for the image component, we are going to give it a source of success.png. We'll say source, and say require, we'll say success.png. So this is going to render the image right now. Then I'm going to give it a style. So for the style, we give it a height of 150 pixels and a width of 150 pixels also. Then we'll give it a margin vertical of 10 pixels. So that's all for the style image. So right now we're going to add the text component for the success message. So add the text component. And we are going to add the success message. So I'm just going to copy the message and I'm going to paste it right here. So right now I'm going to style the text component. But before I style the text component, let's make sure that the component is imported. So over here we'll import the text component. And now I'm going to start styling the text component. So for the style, we'll give it a margin vertical of 30 pixels. Was a margin vertical. I'll give 30 pixels. We'll give it a font size of 20 pixels. And we'll give it a text align of center. So right now we have the success message. Well, actually this image is positioned to the left, but I want it to be at the center of the modal. So to fix this, we are just going to add a view. So we are going to take the image, we'll put inside the view component. And we are going to style the component. So give it a style and give it align items of center. So this is going to center the success image. So that's all for the styling of the modal. So the next step, we are going to add the toggle functionality to the modal. But before we do that, we are going to change this visible to show modal. So if we change this to show modal right now, the modal is going to disappear. So right now we're going to add the toggle method. So over here we are going to create a method called toggle. So we'll say const toggle modal. So this method is going to be used to toggle the modal. So over here we are going to check if visible is true, we are going to show the modal, else we are going to hide the modal. I'll say if visible, we'll set show modal, I'll set it to true. This is going to show the modal, else is going to hide the modal. So over here I'll say else, I'll say set show modal, then I'll set it to false. So right now I'm going to add the use effect hook, and we are going to call the toggle modal method inside. So say react.use effect. I want to call the toggle modal method only if these visible props changed. So inside here we'll call the toggle modal. So once these visible props change, it's going to toggle the modal. So if it's changed, it's going to call this method. Then inside the method, it's going to check if the visible props is true, it's going to show the modal, else it's going to hide the modal. So right now, if I click on this, as you can see, it has shown the modal. So if I click on this, it's supposed to close the modal, but actually it's not closing the modal because we've not added any unpressed props over here. So inside the header, we are going to wrap the cancel image with a touchable opacity component. So we are going to put the image inside this touchable opacity component, and we are going to add the unpressed props. So say unpressed, and for the unpressed, we are going to set this visible to false, which is going to close the modal. So over here we'll say set visible and pass in false. So right now, if I click on it, it's going to close the modal. If I click on this button, it's going to open the modal. But we are not done yet because we have to add the animation to the modal. So once the modal open, we want it to open with an animation, and if it closes, we want it to close with an animation. So to do that, we are going to create an animated value. So over here inside the modal pop-up component, we'll create an animated value, and we are going to call this value scale value. So we'll say const, we'll say scale value, which is going to be react.useRef. And inside the useRef, we are going to initialize the animated value. So say animated. So we import the animated API. I'll say dot value. I'll give it a value of 0. And over here, I'll say dot current. So the reason we are using useRef is because we want React to keep track of this scale value when the component re-renders. So right now we have the scale value. So inside the toggle modal method, we are going to make use of the scale value to animate the modal. So to do that, we'll say animated.spring. So we want it to make use of the spring method to animate the modal. And over here, we'll pass in the scale value. So say scale. I want it to animate the value to 1. So it's going to animate it from 0 to 1. Then want the duration to be 300 milliseconds. We'll say duration. I'll give it 300. And also we use the native driver. And right here, we're going to start the animation. So say dot start. So that's all for the opening animation. So right now, we're going to convert the modal container to animated view, and we're going to pass in the scale value. So right here, we'll change it to animated view, and also we'll change this to animated.view. So right here, we are going to add the transform property, then we'll pass in the scale value. So say transform, we'll give it a square bracket, I'll pass in the scale property, then I'll pass in the scale value. So we want the modal container to animate from 0 scale to 1 scale. So right now I'm going to hit save, and if you click on open modal, it's going to animate in with that spring animation. So right now if I click on this cancel, there is no animation because we've not added the animation for the closing of the modal. So to do that, over here we are going to add the animation. So say animated.timing. So making use of the timing function right here. So want the animation to be in a linear form. So we'll pass in the scale value. So say scale value. Then want it to animate from 1 to 0. We'll give duration of 300 also. Then we'll give it use native driver. I'll set it to true. So the main reason we are setting the use native driver to true is because we want to React Native to leave the animation to the native. So with this, it's going to make the animation more performance. So right here, we are going to start the animation. So say .start. So this is going to start the animation. So right now, if I click on the cancel button, it's going to animate the modal container. So the main reason is not animating the modal container is because the container is actually closing before animation runs. So in order to fix this, we are going to add a set timeout over here. We'll say set timeout. I want it to close the modal after 200 milliseconds. So give it 200 milliseconds. So with this set timeout, the modal is going to close after 200 milliseconds, which is going to allow the animation to run for 200 milliseconds before it closes the modal. So right now, if I click on this icon, so as you can see, it's going to close the modal with the animation. And also if I click on this, it's going to open the modal with animation. So I think that's all for the video. If you like this kind of video, please like and share. And also if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Turn on post notifications so I notify anytime I upload a new video. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.